Welcome to How to Succeed in Dentisting Without Really Crying with Dr. Nacho. How to Succeed in Dentisting Without Really Crying is sponsored by the Dental Nachopedia, an anytime, anywhere learning resource to help you improve your clinical skills, your business skills, your practice management skills, your leadership skills, but most of all, help you improve that key performance indicator that determines whether you are successful or not in dentisting. That key performance indicator, the number of times you feel like crying inside a day. Here's an example of a time I feel like crying. When I was doing a class 2 composite and I went to put the ring thingy on the tooth and it flew across the room and pinged on the floor. And I looked at my assistant and said, "Can I have another ring thingy?" And she showed me the box of sterilized ring thingies and there was just a mangled pedo ring in the box. And I had to look at it and say, "Perfect, this one will do." On this episode of How to Succeed in Dentisting Without Really Crying, we're going to talk about restrictive covenants. Are restrictive covenants too restrictive? Will they cause you problems later? Great question. I would want to know that too. As someone who's helped connect people for jobs for over 15 years, restrictive covenants can cause a number of problems. One, they mismanage expectations. If you're a practice owner and you want to put a 15-mile restrictive covenant on the associate who's applying to your position, this may decrease your number of applicants if it is unreasonable. So first, restrictive covenants, are they reasonable? Now, some of you may be saying, they're not enforceable. Don't worry, they're not enforceable. However, to find out if they are not enforceable, it can be very expensive. My amigo, my own dental-focused attorney, podcast partner, Rob Montgomery's team are awesome at designing associate contracts as well as looking at your associate contract. You can reach out to them at yourdentallawyer.com. But before you have a lawyer look at your contract, ask the practice owner about the restrictive covenant because it's going to determine how reasonable they are. If you're in Center City, Philadelphia, and they want a 5-mile restrictive covenant, super unreasonable. Middle of Texas may be super reasonable. When you accept an associate position, it's critical that you spot the red flags before accepting it because it's very hard to get out of an associate position if you do not have another job. I've talked numerous times, many times, about how finding a job in dentisting is a lot like dating. But if you don't like the person you're dating, you can just do what the kids say, ghost them, right? Sit on your couch, watch the Queen Gambits on Netflix, drink wine. That sounds super relaxing. But imagine if you had an associate position that determined if you could pay your rent or afford that couch you're sitting on. You may stay in an associate position that's not as good longer. We're going to talk about that today on a pop-up Nacho webinar on finding your first job, getting a better associate position, and buying your only dental practice. Most dentists only ever own one dental practice. It is one of the biggest decisions you will make in your entire life. And by one of the biggest decisions, I mean the biggest decision you will make in your dentisting life. To find out about content that's totally free for you to join in, watch, get access to the recordings, just text Connect to 215-543-6454. We're going to talk about restrictive covenants and more on today's show. To learn more about the Dental Nachopedia Queso Edition, so many Nachoers are buying that right now, taking advantage of our amazing holiday week Nacho offer to get 52 CE courses to own for life or until the internet melts down, whichever happens first. To own for life, just text Queso to 215-543-6454 or visit us at dentalnachos.com.